Okay, Shannon, if you could put us on the record, please. Okay, this is the matter of Nicole and Timothy Colburn. Kelly Tucker for the petitioner, Haley Bordeaux for the agency. Let's see. Looks like
Mike
Mr.
Kelly, MF, the mother.
And Mr. Brown is LGAL. And Ms. Colburn is present by phone, Shannon. And
Mom, or
well, she's adoptive mom, grandma.
so is that who Mike's representing, or is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we had a conversation off the record before a little earlier this morning, and we're scheduled for trial in a week. The agency is at least going to consider a request to turn this into a dependency petition and make Ms. Colburn a non-respondent. If that's the case, the trial won't take very long, but I'll leave that decision up to the agency. In the meantime, we'll just plan on proceeding with trial March 9th at 1 p.m. Anything else we need to do on the record?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. Colburn, if you have trouble connecting next week, I can always call you again to make sure that you can hear and participate. Did you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor. But thanks.
You're welcome.
Sorry about the one.
No
All
problem.
messed up.
No problem. Have a good day, ma'am.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next up for pretrial is the Nefer minors. And let's see. Let me get Ms. Bowen in here.
Just to quickly update the court, Your Honor, I was able to find a copy of Mom's psych eval. And so I did forward that on to her attorney in the LGAL.
Thank you. All right, I want to see if I have any parents waiting. Let's see.
Your Honor, if my client is appearing, his number would start with 727.
Yeah, there's no unidentified phone numbers in here, and his name is not logged in. I was looking for the mother now. That would be Shanna. Is her last name changed? Is it Everett now?
I believe so.
All right, and we've got her. And as soon as we have that audio connection, we'll go forward. Ms. Everett, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shannon, let's see. We've got Kelly Tucker for the petitioner, Madison Bowen for the agency, Rebecca McCluskey is LGAL, Mr. Williams represents the mother, Mr. Kelly represents the father. I think that's everybody.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this case is scheduled for trial in a week. I know we had adjourned for the psych eval, and we now have that, but it doesn't look like anyone's had a real opportunity to go through that yet and see how that might impact a trial. I guess my inclination is to keep it on the docket, but if council, once you've had an opportunity to review the psych eval, if you think there's a need for another adjournment to address whatever it is it raises, I will be receptive to that. Anything else that needs to be put on the record?
No, Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
I would just say that, and I just got it and really haven't had a chance to go with my client. I appreciate the court's comment, but I'd say it's very likely. Um, I do
All
acknowledge.
right. Tim, we're having a little trouble hearing you. You're breaking up.
I was just indicating to the court, Your Honor, that based upon the fact that we just got the psych eval, just kind of echoing what you said, I think it's very likely that I'm going to ask for an appointment to have, enough time to thoroughly go through the evaluation and, determine what it means. And if we need to make, contact Dr. Lauer to make corrections or get an independent one. So I'm just, I guess, warning the court that I would anticipate asking for an adjournment. And I also acknowledge that I received the psych eval from Ms. Tucker.
All right. Our trial disposition date is March 16th at 2 p.m. And as I said, Mr. Williams, if you think more time is going to be needed, just let's start some email dialogue. And like I said, I will be receptive to an adjournment if I think it's necessary. For now, we'll keep it on the calendar.
So can you just, Judge, just so I'm clear, what's the date that the trial date that's set at this point?
You broke up again. Say it again.
What do we have as the trial date and disposition?
March 16th at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, next up is Jaden Reyes. Let me get Ms. Reyes in here. And let's see, Ms. Lagore.
And Shauna Watson should also be present for that one, Your Honor. She might just be present instead of Miss Lagore.
I
Looks like
apologize.
that's-
I did not hear anything that you guys were just saying.
All right, Ms. Reyes, I've just brought you in because I called your case, and we're just trying
Okay.
to make sure we got everyone in here who should be here. It looks like we've got everyone now. So Shannon, Callie Tucker for the petitioner, Shauna Watson for the agency, Mr. Kelly's LGAL, and Ms. McCluskey represents Mom, and Mom is present. So let's hear from Mr. Kelly first. How is Jaden doing?
Your Honor, I spoke with placement. Jaden is meeting her milestones. They have her signed up for early on. Placement indicates that Mom has attended 2 out of 22 visits since the last court hearing, I believe in December. And to the best of my knowledge, despite being aware of the child's 2-month and 4-month checkup, she has not participated. I read somewhere in the
I
report,
was at for 2 months.
actually, it's not a good
Wait,
psych-
hold on.
Yeah, I
Hold
wasn't
on.
at the
Ms.
4 months, but I was at the 2 months.
Ms. Reyes, I will give you a chance. Don't interrupt, please. I'm going to mute your device right now, but I will give you a chance to talk. I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly, go ahead. I had 2 people talking at once and I couldn't hear either one of you.
The psychological evaluation is not good. I seem to recall reading in the report that essentially mom was, it almost seemed like she was giving up in some respects in regards to what Dr. Louder indicated to her of her. If that is indeed the case, and we come back in 90 days, I would be requesting a goal change. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Watson, did you have anything to add to your report?
No, Your Honor, I do not have anything to add at this time.
Ms. McCluskey, what is your position on the recommendation?
Your Honor, I guess my concern is that I don't necessarily object to the recommendations. I'm concerned that obviously the court's aware this was pending for so long only because of housing issues, and that's why the court allowed my client extra time, because she had completed everything, she was doing well. It really came down to housing. So at this point, we're going backwards. The court report indicates that the home that she's in, with the exception of needing a crib, is appropriate. The roommates allowed background checks and those were cleared. This is never going to be a perfect situation. So now we're loading on extra services that, I'm sure my client would benefit from, like the DBT therapy. And we're asking for an updated substance use assessment when she's only ever tested positive for THC. So that makes no sense to me. So I feel like this is almost a sabotage, not intentionally, but of my client, when all we were looking at is housing. And quite frankly, I think a lot of parents would start to give up at this point because the agency is continuing to put up roadblocks. And she has appropriate housing at this time. Is it perfect? No, but are our parents ever going to be perfect? I doubt that. As for the psych eval, it's not horrible. It seems to revolve a lot around some depression, some severe depression symptoms. So I guess I would ask why the agency wasn't requesting these more intensive services right up front, like the DBT therapy and the trauma therapy. I feel like the agency kind of failed my client. We got to the point where she had completed everything and benefited and was only waiting for housing. And now, again, it just looks like a sabotage. I don't think she's giving up. I think she's tired.
Your Honor, would you like me to respond to that?
I was about to ask you to.
Yes. And actually, first of all, Ms. McCluskey, I apologize because you are correct that in those recommendations, it does still have in here the new substance abuse assessment and the drug screens. And I would actually ask the court to remove those. It was determined at the last court hearing that we did not believe the primary concern here was substance abuse. And I do believe that was actually an error on behalf of the writer of this report. We didn't mean to still include the substance abuse services. What had been addressed was that there were concerns about mental health due to the fact that the case had gone on for so long and yet there had been so little progress, not only with the lack of housing, but also with some of the communication and some of the consistency. And so I understand that there are some new recommendations in regards to DBT therapy, and those are due to the results of the updated psychological evaluation that happened after Jaden was removed. So I do understand that it looks like we're asking for some new things, but really the court had approved that new psych eval due to the fact that we hadn't seen progress even after such a significant amount of time. And there are some pretty concerning things in the psychological evaluation. I was a part of the FTM that took place in January, where the recommendations were reviewed with Ms. Reyes. And even though the recommendations did have some concerning results, we did make it very clear that the goal is still reunification and we do want Stephanie to still engage. And that just because that recommendation was made by Dr. Louder doesn't mean we're asking for a goal change. We're happy to continue working with her. At this time, she has not chosen to participate in parenting time. And I know that there was some delay with her services getting started at Lifeways. It looks like she waited another week or so to go in, or waited about 2 more weeks to go in. And then now they're trying to get her set up with a counselor. But we do hope that she'll engage in services and benefit from them.
What's the status of the paternity testing?
So that actually name was just provided to the worker in her home visit on February 22nd. And so in order for us to complete that paternity testing, we need it to be included in the court order today. And as soon as we have that court order, I will do the referral for that testing.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
Ms. McCluskey, there was something else you wanted to say?
In light of what Ms. Watson just indicated, I unless Ms. Reyes has some strong objection, I would think that the DBT therapy would probably be beneficial because I know that the team has provided a lot of support to Ms. Reyes. So thank you.
So, and I know Ms. Reyes wanted to address something that Mr. Kelly said, I think. So Ms. Reyes, I'm going to let you unmute. If there was something you wanted to add, this is your chance to do that. I had muted her when she was talking over Mr. Kelly. I've now twice asked her to unmute and she's not responding. I know she can hear me, but I think at that point, I think based on everything I've heard, the recommendations as modified on the record are appropriate. I will also say I am very much concerned about the lack of engagement in parenting time. That is concerning, to be missing that many visits. I would hope in 90 days we've seen some significant progress in every area, or I will indeed be receptive to a goal change. Our next review hearing will be May 25th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Keith Moore. Keith Moore Jackson. And let's see, I've got Molly Wagner. Let me get her in. I've got Keith M. I'm assuming that's Keith Moore. And let's see. Are we expecting the mother to participate this morning?
No.
Okay, so it looks like everyone is here. Shannon Kelly Tucker for the agency, for the petitioner, Molly Wagner for the agency. Keith Moore is present. Good morning, Keith.
Morning.
Mr. Brown is LGAL. Mr. Brown, how's Keith doing? But I'm sorry, before you're muted, by the way. Can I ask who is present with Keith?
Casey Nadler, I'm standing in for Dr. Miller today, Your Honor.
Casey, last name?
Nadler, N as in Nancy, A-D-L-E-R.
Thank you. And I think that's everyone. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Judge, I talked with Miss Wagner yesterday, and I've read the reports. It looks like Keith is doing pretty darn well. There was an incident a month ago, but things seem to be going very well. I tried several numbers to get a hold of Miss Miller and at the actual facility at Havenwick, and both numbers indicate they are out of service. So I could not make contact with Havenwick or Miss Miller. Hopefully, I can get the correct number before the next hearing, but it looks like Keith is doing pretty well. Thank you.
So, Ms. Nadler, if you could make sure that Mr. Brown has the correct contact information so that he can speak with Keith before the next hearing, that would
Sure,
be
Your Honor, I
greatly
can do that.
appreciated. Thank you.
You can forward that to Miss Wagner if you would, because
Okay.
she doesn't have the correct numbers either. They were both out of service.
Okay.
Ms. Wagner, anything you'd like to add to your report?
I don't have anything to add to my report.
Keith or Ms. Nadler, do either of you want to address the court?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, I believe Dr. Miller's report says everything that we need to say at this time.
Great. I'm glad to see there is some progress being made, Keith. Our next review hearing will be May 25th at 8:45. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Did IT ever get a hold of you about your Zoom on your computer?
If Josh Clement is from IT, then he sent me a voicemail.
Oh, did he
But I
say-
wasn't gonna do anything about it until later.
Did he say it's working or?
No, he just said he's calling in regards to the message that you left. and
Oh, okay.
Call him when I can.
Gotcha. Okay, next up. Highland, Allard, and Patrick Miners. So Ms. Cooling is here. I will let her in. And let's see, who else we got here?
Your Honor, my client should be present with her therapist and a few other workers from Flint Odyssey House.
Okay, I see Odyssey House is signed in. Let me get them in.
Your Honor, Steve Hampton, the youth therapist, is also present to participate today if needed.
I don't see anyone signed in by that name.
I'm not sure what else he would be signed in under. I apologize.
I've got a Worthington. I'm not sure what that is. Worthington A. Anybody recognize that? Let me see
That
what
would
it
be,
is.
that'd be for the Towers case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. And the other person is a worker on the Towers case. So looks like we've got everyone in the hearing that was in the waiting room. So let's go down the list. Let's see. Callie Tucker for the petitioner. Lindsay, and I always forget, is it Cooling or Cowling?
I'm on
And you're
mute. Cooling.
Cooling. I thought so, but I thought it was safer to ask. For the agency, let's see. Mr. Hotchkiss is LGAL. Mr. Brown represents Mr. Highland. Mr. Kelly represents Mom. And let's see, Mom is present with some other folks at the Flint Odyssey House, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and
The reason why we set this over is they were requesting a goal change and Mr. Highland could not be had from the prison. So the court set this over, was not going to change the goal because you thought it was fair that he be present when a goal change is being requested.
I believe you also want to hear from more details from Flint Odyssey House in regards to mom's progress to determine if it was appropriate for a goal change. And
so I've got a writ for Mr. Highland to be here, but I don't see him. I'm going to try to call the number they've listed for counsel and see if I can get through.
You have reached the Carson City Correctional Facility. If you are calling from a touch-tone phone, press 1. Please dial the 7-digit phone number of the person you wish to speak with. Or dial...
Wait while I transfer your call. Sorry, 1,200 unit PC is not available.
You have reached the Carson City Correctional Facility. Please dial the 7-digit phone number.
You cannot be transferred to this number. Check the number and try again.
Please dial the 7-digit phone number of the person you wish to speak with.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Carson City Correctional Facility Warden, Officer Jerome, can I help you?
Yes, this is Judge LaFlamme. I was trying to reach Mr. Highland, looking for a first name, for a court hearing. I was of the impression he was going to be signing into my Zoom room this morning. I've got his prisoner number, if that helps.
Yeah, hold on, let me just check and see if he's in the waiting room. He should have been signed in at 9. Did you guys try to pick him up at 9?
If he was in there at 9, I didn't see him. We were handling other matters. I just got to his case.
Let me check and see where he's at.
Thank you.
Make sure they're connected to all the benefits they've earned for their service. Call 800-MISH-VET. That's 800-642-4838 for more information.
While we're waiting to track him down.
Did you know that about 97 cents of every dollar spent on lottery tickets is returned to the state in the form of contributions?
We have what I believe is a
many of which are small.
final review hearing for Gabrielle.
Michigan Lottery for fun.
And Shannon, I see that the guardians, Tony and Carson Patrick, are also present in the hearing.
Home ownership. Mishka offers property improvement loans with long-term repayment plans for an affordable way to make
Mr. Hotchkiss, any reason that we shouldn't be terminating jurisdiction for
sewer replacement?
Gabrielle?
Sorry, Judge?
Yes.
Yes, this is litigation coordinator. I just double checked and I thought they had sent you guys something. Mr. Highland's unit got quarantined. So he's under quarantine, so he can't come up to the
All right.
Zoom. camera.
I appreciate, how long is that quarantine likely to last?
I think they should be off tomorrow. I think his unit should be off tomorrow, actually.
So if I were to
we got to get approval from Lansing, but it should be very soon that unit's off.
So if I were to reschedule in a week, that should be safe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I would say you're fine for a week.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. We should let you know beforehand.
No problem. Have a good day.
Okay. You too. Bye.
All right, back on Gabrielle. Mr. Hotchkiss, any reason the court shouldn't terminate jurisdiction today based on the child being in a juvenile guardianship?
No, Your Honor, no reason at all. Gabrielle's doing very well in that placement, and I think it's appropriate at this time to terminate jurisdiction.
And Ms. Cooling, do you agree?
Yes, I do.
All right. There being no objection, I will, in my order today, terminate jurisdiction as to Gabrielle. There will be ongoing reporting required under the juvenile guardianship file, but she will no longer be a part of the neglect petition. Mr. and Mrs. Patrick, did you have any questions for the court?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Gabrielle doing well?
Yes, she is. She's at school right now. She had a test this morning.
Good. That's good to hear. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you.
Okay, so folks, as to the other children, I still very strongly agree that Dad needs to be a part of a hearing where we're considering a goal change. You heard my conversation with the prison that he's in quarantine. I think the best thing I can do is put this over for a week. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge. I would just ask that you maybe issue the writ for 15 minutes early so I can talk with him in a breakout room if there's another case going on, so I can speak with him prior to the hearing.
All right, well, whenever he ends up getting here, Mr. Brown, we will, if necessary, just take a break to give you plenty of time to chat with him. So Shannon, if you could put this over 1 week to
March 9th at 9:30.
March 9th at 9:30. Is there anything else the court needs to address today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see you. Mr. and Mrs. Patrick, there won't be any need for you to participate at that next hearing. You're certainly welcome to sign into my YouTube channel if you want to watch what's going on. I'm sure you have some interest, but your participation isn't expected next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll see y'all in a week.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge LaFlamme.
9 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Yeah, Judge LaFlamme.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Danielle Patrick. I just wanted to touch base with you on visits because we set up Zoom visits and telephone calls for Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if we are going to hold this over for a week, are we going to continue those
Yes.
Tuesdays and Thursdays till 5, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to double check and cross the board with everyone.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you in a week.
Okay, thank you.
Ouch. Okay, and last up this morning is Angelica Towers. I'm going to let everyone in that's in the waiting room. Okay, so let me make sure I've got a connection with everyone. Looks like I do. Ms. Kelly Tucker for the petitioner, Patricia McGuire for the agency. Mr. Hotchkiss is LGAL. And let's see, we've got Angelica present with,
I'm Amanda Worthington, her therapist at Hawthorne Center.
Amanda Worthington. Did you get that, Shannon?
Yep.
And we have Gary Towers present. I think that's everybody. So let me ask Mr. Hotchkiss, how's Angelica doing?
Your Honor, thank you. I'm given to understand that Angelica is doing pretty well. She's making some significant progress, according to her therapist. She's making hasn't made improvements in a number of areas, such that the need for her to remain in a inpatient psychiatric hospital setting is no longer necessary, and that they're currently looking for a placement. Obviously, she'll need to continue with therapy and so forth, but really good news as to her progress. I've read the report and I'm in support of the recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. McGuire, did you have any updates for the court?
I do not, Your Honor.
Angelica, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Towers?
No. This question's good luck.
All right, we're glad progress is being made. I will implement the recommendations. We'll set our next review hearing for May 25th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
That concludes our morning hearings.
Thank you.
We'll see some of you this afternoon.